Hello, and welcome to a brand new walkthrough from me, the Unfinished. It seems like a very long time since I last did one, because it was. Back at the beginning of December, I did a few little walkthroughs for all the different Humankind sound sets that I did. I'd just like to mention, before I crack on, a massive thank you to everyone that helped support that particular project. In the end, we raised over £3,500 for Oxfam, which is beyond my wildest dreams, so really fantastic. So give yourselves a big pat on the back for helping me out there. Okay, that is the preaching over. Let's just crack on with the new sound set. So here we are. This new sound set is called Zebra Serenity, and it is my second sound set for the rather marvellous Zebra 2 synth. Let's just dive in and play some sounds, shall we? Okay, we'll start in the Arp section. So a nice simple, nice bleepy Arp there. So what's Zebra Serenity about? It's a nice electronic, analog-esque sound set, basically to create the sort of the really nice synthy sounds that you hear in movie soundtracks these days. Not trying to emulate anything in particular, but for instance, what immediately springs to mind is obviously the stuff that the Daft Punk's Tron soundtrack or M83's Oblivion soundtrack. So bringing in that kind of raw electronica into proceedings. So these are very electronic sounds designed to basically back up the whatever else you're doing. I mean, for me, it's probably going to be backing up things like strings and percussion and orchestral stuff. But these sounds are also going to be great for ambient bits and pieces. So we'll move on to bass lines. As ever, programmed some interesting stuff into the mod wheel on each and every sound. This one's quite a subtle one. Where you might be able to get a bit more interesting stuff going on is in the XY performance window thingamies. Not sure what the official term for them is. So you've got stuff like filter, tone, the effects, reverb and delay, and the envelope, which is reasonably consistent across the board. There's a few sort of different ways of changing the sounds, but quite often the four boxes will be those. So just kicking off the filter. And tone. So as you can see, there's bang, bang. Take the reverb delay out of it and it sounds retarded. The envelope should be fairly simple. But as you can see, just with those very simple XY pads, you can do so much to these sounds, and I have been careful to try and program as much useful stuff into that as possible. So there's lots of, as ever, some really nice, I'd say really nice, how vain, some underscore style bass lines, a little bit brutal, but unlike the sort of the harsh edge that maybe you'd get in like one of my massive sound sets, or the slightly more ethereal, cinematic sound you get in the Omnisphere one, this one's very much synth based. but you can still get some good grunts and grit out of Zebra, especially since the more recent was it 10th anniversary update, which added in some distortion modules, which are kind of quite nice. I think I was probably channeling Fade Grey there while I was playing that. This is one of my favourite sounds. This is a bit 80s. But you could probably imagine that with some nice spiccato strings over the top and I dare say some dubstep beats. Nice and deep. So there you go, there's some bass lines in there, not as many as I think there were in Continuum, but some nice bass lines to stick underneath everything. And then some original bass sounds that I've programmed as well. Let's have a little play with them. So there we've got some different stuff on there. Nice delayed analog bass. What else have we got here? Never played with this one. That goes a bit mental there. Let's play a few more. That's the mod wheel, quietening it down a bit, and then back it comes. So they're not all right in your face basses. But some of them. I've done a couple of sort of big drum sounds. A bit of delay on there. Just to add a little impact in there, because I think there's a lot of libraries out with sort of creating big drum noises with smashing windows and dropping cars from great heights and all sorts of exciting stuff like that. But sometimes it's quite nice to get back to a little bit of synthesis for your drums. Couple of little electronic piano keys in there. Let's have a look at that. I've done some experimental stuff with the leads actually, so bit of physical modelling stuff. This is an example. So sort of overblown flute sound there, which I kind of stumbled across to a certain extent. It's quite nice. We've got some leads in there, which are there's an element of classic analoginess to them. I mean, I suppose in cinematic stuff you're unlikely to use synths for leads quite so much, but maybe for some more ambient or electronic stuff they'll come in useful. Here's another one of my physical modelling type things. So a nice little flute. Should you be wanting to do that? Maybe something, I don't know, it's got a kind of a fantasy game score kind of feel. What am I playing there? Is that Chronicles of Narnia? I think that might be the Narnia lullaby, mightn't it? So a little Vangelis-esque electronic piano. Do-do-do. So there's a couple of sounds like this which are sort of hybrid between real world and synthesis. This is a fairly classic sort of analog keyboard sound. This is one I quite like. So this is like a somewhere between a sort of a harp and a sort of plucked Asian sort of string instrument. And then we've got this one. I was obviously in a bit of a flute mode. And I've come up with this sort of Renaissance flute kind of sound for reasons. Well, it's just fun. And, you know, if you haven't got Renaissance flutes in your arsenal, you have now. Okay, now we've got some percussion loops. Decided to use some analog synthesis just for often I released a little thing at the end of last year called Drumstruck, which has hit a bit of a chord with people, even though it's only got 50 small loops in there. It's one of those little packs which you use over and over again. I use it all the time, and it never seems to grow old. But I thought it'd be quite fun to have some synthesized percussion loops in here. So anyway, I'll shut up and play you a few. So there's an element to which you can pretty much do a whole track just with Zebra Serenity, because you've now got drum beats, you've got the bass, you've got the pads, you've got the leads, you've got a bit of everything. So big kick noise. And this one's a bit of a epic clangy bangy kind of sound. So these are quite fun when you layer them together. I've got some slightly ethnic sounding drums in there as well. Which is fun you can have with the comb filters in particular. So this is a kind of tabla-esque. And then there's a couple of little breakbeaty type loops in there as well. Okay, and there are lots of pads, which probably won't come as any surprise to anybody who's previously bought one of my Soundsets, because I like a good pad. And Zebra is wonderful for pads, it really is. I love analog sounding pads, so this synth is absolutely perfect for that. Particularly that nice sort of distressed sound. Here's some slightly more ethereal stuff like this one. It's got quite a lot going on in there, and it's slightly out of tune, which is quite fun as well. So it's a harmonic pad playing a few other bits and pieces in there. This is one of my one finger only pad sounds. Lots of notes will be played at the same time there. Bold one there. Bold one? Bold. It's not bold at all. So rather than having that sort of huge cinematic sound to them, they've got quite a sort of intimate, organic, analog synthy sound to them. This is definitely one of my favourites. There's quite a few pads on here that I'm rather fond of. I've already started using in my personal projects. It's quite a nice, lush one. Remember this one correctly, it's a bit. This is one of my more disturbed pads. Nice for moments of danger, that kind of thing. Okay, let's flick on through a few more. Might need to press the keys a little bit harder than Matthew. It's got quite a slow attack at the beginning. Okay. Actually, there's some really nice bottom end in this sort of pad. Let's play some low stuff. Quite handy. I could quite honestly just sit and play pads all day long. I really could. Okay, so move on to the soundscapes. Let's have a little play. Not touching anything other than just holding down notes with this one, and those creepy sounds come into it. There is a slight horror flavour to a number of these sort of soundscape things, just because Zebra does them well, so play to its strengths, I say. This is one of my favourite soundscapes. Really nice for you sort of game scorers out there when you need some foreboding textures in the background. Actually sounds a bit like a plane flying overhead, doesn't it? Like those black and white films of the B-2 bombers from World War II or whatever. Not my area of expertise, planes. I'll shut up. It's one of my scene setters. So I like to see that one because it comes in, it's like, rah, I think you know what's going on here. Yeah, so none of them are particularly cheery. If you want a nice sort of happy soundscape sound, I recommend my Omnisphere Soundsets. They have a bit more of that sort of thing. So sequences, try to play something. These are different from arps in the sense that the arps, you are playing them as arpeggios, you know, playing chords and what have you. These are more designed to be played with just one note held down. A lot of these are quite sort of underscorey or actiony, so there's a blend of the softer stuff that lurks in the background and then some other stuff that can be nice and up front. Oh yeah, this is this slightly sort of guitar-y one. Again, whenever I kind of come across this sort of sound, I'm reminded of Jesper Kid's work on Assassin's Creed, which is a very unique and fascinating score. So actually, if you play a few notes, you can get some interesting stuff going on with this one. Okay. Well, this is one of the weirder patches in here. This one, don't ever think you're going to be playing this one melodically, because it just doesn't work like that. You almost never know when the sort of the bleepy square sound is going to come in, or indeed what melodic pattern it's going to play. So if you find something you like, build the track around that. Don't expect the search sequence to work around your track. It just doesn't. Oh, there we go. Fade to grey again. Sorry. Play something different, Ben. And finally, while we wait. Okay, so that is Zebra Serenity in a nutshell. Now, some of you who have already read something about this Soundset might know that there is what I'm calling the Dark Edition of Zebra Serenity. Now, this is... so in Zebra Serenity, there are 128 patches. Now, the Dark Edition is those same 128 patches tweaked and optimized for the Dark Zebra, Zebra HZ, whichever name you want to call it. So the gruntier, grittier version of Zebra with the Diva filters that was made for Hans Zimmer to use in the Batman films. So it's not strictly 128 brand new sounds, but what I have done is try to take them away from the original sound so you're not getting repetition. So what I'll do is I'll do some comparisons. So if let's stay with while we wait. So bear with me whilst I click between tracks and do stuff here. So okay, so if we've got while we wait here, and then if I just quickly unclick a few things here, bring that up and do. So it's the same sound, but it's in a different place. This is mainly due to the rather tasty, if slightly CPU heavy, Diva filters. So when you come over to here, many of them are saved as that's not actually quite on the screen, is it? So on the Diva filters, you can go from anything from Draft to Divine. Divine will knacker your CPU, and Draft will mean you can use a few more patches. So let's just try and find. Well, okay, so we'll pick my favourite pad sound, which is Imogen Sleeps. Just pick it up on here so we can get back to it quickly. Doop-de-doo. I've got to stop saying doop-de-doo. I don't know where that's come from. So this is the Dark Edition version. And that is killing my CPU, so let's just take it down to Draft. I knew something silly would happen. Okay, so... Okay, that had a slightly less deleterious effect on there. So, and then this is back to the Zebra Serenity version. So the difference is a little subtle. Whether you want to pick up the Dark Edition, as the Dark Edition will include the original Zebra Serenity sounds and the Dark Serenity sounds. So it's a bundle package effectively. So you get all 256 patches in one go. It'll depend whether how fond you are of the Dark Zebra and whether you like the idea of having the sounds with the Zebra filters built in. Okay, let's pick up. I'm pretty sure this sound is actually quite different because that's just the way I ended up programming. So this will give you an example of a sound which isn't just tweaked a little bit with the filters and the compressors, etc. This is one where it's gone a bit further than that. So that's already in Zebra Serenity is quite a nice sort of driving synth sound. And then in Zebra HZ, so it's a lot more in your face and grunty on here. So there is a mix in the Dark Edition sounds where some of them do sound quite different and some of them only sound slightly different. but all of them will sound different in a grittier, gruntier, more analog way because of those wonderful diva filters. So I hope that makes sense. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just go through a few more. I'll just go through a few of these sounds, see if I can pick up some ones that I didn't do from Zebra Serenity. So just give you a feel for the Dark Edition sounds. Okay, what bass lines did we do? I don't think we did this. Play a couple of basses. I can't remember what basses I played at all. Oh, this is a evil subby kind of bass. That's probably not gonna come up on YouTube at all, particularly if I talk over the top of it. That was me fiddling with the mod builder. The lead's slightly different. I'm whizzing through these fairly quickly, so I'm not talking too much about them. So Vortex was that sort of ethnic pluck sound, so it's got a bit more synthiness to it this time around. Play some drums. Okay, let's play some of these pads, check they're in draft mode, otherwise I won't get anything out of it. So there is definitely a darker edge to them. That hint of sort of analog saturation, which is most pleasant. What I will be doing a little later on this year, rather than just having this sort of bonus expansion for a Zebra Soundset, I do plan to do a full-on Dark Zebra Soundset. With sounds just designed for Zebra, not co-opted across. But I think there's a lot to be gained from getting the Dark Edition. I would say that, but it's not going to be twice the price. So you're not going to pay. Again, I haven't quite settled on exactly what price the Dark Edition expansion will be yet, but you won't be paying the same price as Zebra Serenity over again. The bundle, you'll save a bit of money on the bundle. Is basically what I'm trying to say in a very cack-handed manner. And then with this, obviously with the soundscapes, they are even darker and weirder in this version. I didn't play Shades of Back last time, did I? This is a nice sort of wailing guitar style cinematic soundscape effect. I think it's rather fun. Bit of a tail on it. How about this one for murkiness? That's fun. It's a bit sad when I get excited about my own sounds, but hey, I designed them for me principally, so they're sounds I like. It's a lucky pleasure when you enjoy them too. This one's a bit of an odd one. Actually, it's less odd in the Dark Zebra. This is one of the few sounds which is actually weirder in original Zebra Serenity as opposed to the Dark Edition. Here's a little tribute to my mate George, who's a big fan of Zebra. If you're listening, George, hello. So there you go. Zebra Serenity plus the Dark Edition. They will be out this Friday, which is the 28th, I believe. Yes, I think I'm right. Those of you that follow my newsletter, which comes out sparingly, once a month maximum, there will be, as ever, a little opening discount code in there. So if you aren't signed up to my newsletter, I highly recommend that you are, and then you get a little bit of money off, which is what we like in these austere times. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've been listening to, and it's made you think, yes, I am going to get Zebra Serenity. It's good. Because that's my intention, to provide you with nice synth sounds. So yes, thank you very much for listening. It will be on sale on Friday, so keep an eye out on my website. See you next time.